You've heard of New Zealand dairy, but have you ever heard of the special milk product from Cambodia? Screams of agony echo in my ears, pulling me from a deep, drug-induced slumber. I open my eyes, horrified to find myself locked in a rusty cage. My body is unmarked, but my clothes are filthy, stained with a sticky fluid. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next chilling stories. Now let's dive into the case. I'm a clean freak, but right now that's the last thing on my mind. I'm just staring blankly at my surroundings. In the cage next to me, there's a woman, pregnant and bloody. She's wearing a torn dress, her belly is huge, and blood is seeping from under her skirt. She's drenched in sweat, biting her lip, her whole body shaking violently from the pain, making the cage rattle. She's about to give birth, but I have no time to worry about her. I have my own purpose here. 3 years ago, my sister went to Cambodia with some relatives for work and then suddenly disappeared. My relatives told me she was kidnapped by a local criminal gang and turned into a human milk cow. Using my friend Alex's connections in law enforcement, I found the gang's main territory and went undercover, all to find my sister. Now I calmly look around. This is a damp, dark, windowless room, probably a basement. A flickering light bulb hangs from the ceiling, swinging back and forth for no reason, as there is no wind. In the corner, there are 3 other cages. 1 is empty and 2 have women in them, but they seem used to this hell, sleeping peacefully in their cages. "Ah!" the woman in the cage next to me screams. Then I see a bloody, slimy mass slide from under her skirt. When I see a small leg flailing, I realize it's a newborn baby. It looks like a biracial child, with dark skin and a homely face. The woman is exhausted but still manages to hold the ugly baby, wiping it on her filthy dress before holding it close and falling into a weary sleep. The baby's cries are weak, like a kitten's meow. The strong, coppery smell of blood fills the air, making me sick. I press my back against the cage bars, as if that would somehow shield me from the bloody scene. Bang! The door suddenly bursts open and light from outside floods in. It confirms that it's daytime. An old woman in her 60s walks in, a mop in one hand and a bucket of water in the other. 2 burly men follow her. "Can I just have 2 days with my baby?" the woman in the cage pleads, her eyes full of despair. The old woman's eyes are cold as ice. She walks up to the cage, says nothing, and roughly pulls the newborn through the bars. The baby starts screaming as the old woman yanks it. The mother in the cage cries out in terror, "Please, Mrs. Gray, please help me. Just give it to someone else to raise." The old woman, Mrs. Gray, just laughs coldly. "Raise it? We have to dispose of so many of them every year. Where am I supposed to find someone to raise it for you?" Then they pull the woman who just gave birth out of the cage. Mrs. Gray squeezes her breast, and a thick white liquid squirts out, its strong smell filling the air. "Good stuff," Mrs. Gray says, a look of sadistic pleasure on her face. The 2 men roughly tear off the woman's dress, but Gray throws cold water on her bloody body, gives her a quick rinse, and drags her out, naked. "Another milk cow," Mrs. Gray says with relief. Then she starts cleaning the cage, mopping up the blood and amniotic fluid. In the trash can, the baby's cries slowly die out. "Mrs. Gray, that baby will die," I want to say, but when she turns to me, her cold eyes make me choke on my words. It feels useless to say anything. She scoffs at me. "Thinking of begging me to let you go? Don't dream. I'm just an old lady who cleans this place. I can't save you." Done with her work, she turns and leaves. Bang! The heavy steel door slams shut. The 2 women in the other cages haven't said a word. "Aren't you scared?" I ask, confused. One of them glances at me. "If you want to live a long life, just be obedient." I notice her stomach is also slightly bulging. "What is this place? What did she mean by another milk cow, Mao?" I ask. The woman explains, "This is an underground human milk factory. The women kidnapped and brought here are all artificially inseminated. Once they give birth, their job is to produce breast milk." The sickening feeling in my stomach intensifies as I realize I might have been artificially inseminated as well. I swallow my nausea and try to act timid and weak. "Why do they need so much human milk? Who would buy it?" I ask, my voice trembling. The woman, who introduces herself as Ava from Singapore, explains that the milk is used in high-end cosmetic lines and sold to wealthy families who consume it. Some billionaires even drink it as adults. Once you're pregnant, they don't beat you anymore. They feed you well and make sure you have enough to eat so you can produce a lot of milk after giving birth. She rubs her stomach, a flicker of hope in her eyes. People have to give something to get something in return. If you look at it that way, it's not so bad. I shiver, knowing this is a type of crime I had only heard whispers of. So we're really just milk cows? Shut up. Let a person sleep, will you? The other woman, Julia, who had been sleeping, snaps at me. Ava quickly shrinks back and whispers, "Don't bother Julia. If she tells on us, we'll get beaten." I look at Julia. Her stomach is monstrously huge. She's been locked up for so long that her limbs have atrophied and her belly is a mountain of fat, making her look like a well-fed milk cow. "Julia's about to give birth, right?" I ask Ava. "About 20 more days," Ava says. "She's been here for years, one of the top producers. After she gives birth, the boss will give her a special room with an air conditioner. They treat her really well." "They treat her well by keeping her like livestock?" That's ridiculous. But from Ava, I learn a new piece of information. Julia has been here for a long time. I cautiously ask, "Do you know a woman named Jane Thompson?" Julia's eyes, which were half closed, suddenly sharpen. "Why do you ask about her?" I don't dare reveal our relationship. "I'm just curious," I say, feigning a nonchalant attitude. "I just want to know if she's dead or alive." Julia sneers. "I wish that bitch was dead. But she's got 9 lives. My sister is alive." A wave of relief washes over me, but I keep a poker face. I remember Alex's warning. They are ruthless. Don't take any unnecessary risks. Better to return empty-handed than to not return at all. I don't dare ask any more questions. Julia turns her back to me, clearly annoyed. Her huge stomach jerks every now and then. The baby is moving. It's sad to think that even if the baby is active now, it will be thrown away once it's born. To ensure the milk is high quality, the food is surprisingly decent. For dinner, Mrs. Gray shoves a tray into the cage, then pours food onto it, as if she were feeding pigs. We have to lie on our side to eat. Ava and Julia are used to it, slurping away with grease on their faces. They seem to enjoy it. I can't bring myself to eat like that, and I quietly push my tray out of the cage. Mrs. Gray gives me a scornful look. "Going on a hunger strike? Don't bother. The only way you're leaving here is dead." Then she grabs a chicken leg from my tray and starts gnawing on it. "Where did everyone else go?" I ask, looking at the many empty cages. "Once you're pregnant, they feed you well. After you give birth, you go to the pumping room with air conditioning. No one stays in this dark basement anymore." So my sister is probably in the pumping room. After dinner, Mrs. Gray grabs the trash can and leaves. At night, the mosquitoes are relentless and rats scurry by. Ava falls asleep quickly, mumbling "daddy" in her dreams. Julia is awake, clutching her belly, her face scrunched up as if she's constipated. Around midnight, she starts tossing and turning, then moaning in pain. Ava wakes up worried. "Julia, what's wrong?" "I think I'm giving birth," Julia says, her voice trembling. I'm a little shocked. "But you're not due for another 20 days. It's a premature birth." "Shut your mouth," Julia snaps, lashing out at me in pain. I turn my back to her and pretend to sleep. Julia thrashes around in her cage. At one point, she's in so much pain that she repeatedly slams her head against the bars. Her long, blood-matted hair hangs from the cage. In the morning, she finally gives birth to twins. They're both healthy and pink, much cuter than the baby born last night. One of them keeps turning its head, trying to suckle, clearly looking for milk. Julia grabs the baby's leg and yanks it toward her. I think she's going to feed it, but then I see a cold smile on her face. Hesitating for a moment, she puts her bloody hand on the baby's neck and squeezes. "Are you insane?" I scream, horrified. Julia doesn't even look at me. "If I don't kill it, do you think it can live?" I'm speechless, forced to watch the small life slowly go limp under Julia's cruel hands. She kills both babies and shoves them through the bars. They fall to the ground with the sickening thud. I quickly turn away, unable to look at the 2 tiny bodies. Ava quietly watches everything, showing no reaction. When Mrs. Gray sees the bodies on the ground, she smiles with delight. Well, well, Julia, you're a money-making machine for the boss. You gave birth early too. Julia just smiles coldly. I want to see how long that bitch Jane Thompson can be so smug. That's right. As long as you can produce milk, your loyal customers will come back. You're the most valuable one here. Even the wolf loves your milk, Mrs. Gray says, sucking up to her. The wolf is the head of this criminal organization. Alex warned me that he is a ruthless killer. Mrs. Gray goes to get help. Soon after, the two big men arrive and respectfully escort Julia upstairs. Mrs. Gray puts the two small bodies into a plastic bag and carries them away. That night, two new girls are brought in, unconscious from being drugged. They lie on the ground, still and limp. The artificial insemination process is the same as for livestock. Ava says they do it to prevent the biological fathers from developing feelings for the babies. Here, the women are only pregnant so they can produce milk. The babies are just the waste product. What a shame, one of the men mutters. What shame, the other man snaps. If we touch these women, the wolf will cut our dicks off. After they are done, they lock the two unconscious girls in the cages, sighing as they leave. It doesn't take long for the two girls to wake up. They're horrified and start screaming for help. Ava just ignores them. I lie in my cage, contemplating how to meet my sister. That night, Mrs. Gray isn't the one who brings us dinner. The two big men do. Ava eats with relish, not even flinching. The two men talk in a dialect I don't understand, but I hear Mrs. Gray is off because she has a family emergency. The two new girls cry and refuse to eat. The men curse them, telling them to accept their fate. Once you're here, you're not a person anymore. You're a milk cow, one of them says. One of the men even describes the artificial insemination process in detail, making the two girls shiver in fear. The men laugh and leave. The next morning, the same two men bring us breakfast. I overhear them talking about Julia. Apparently, she's in the pumping room, but she can't produce milk. The wolf says Julia is old and worthless now. One of them shakes his head. I used to sleep with yes, Julia. She wasn't bad, but once she's worthless, she's dead. What a shame. As they're about to leave, I call out to one of them. I might be able to help Julia produce milk. I used to be a maternity nurse. The two men look at each other, not quite believing me. One of them heads for the door, but then looks back at me. Ava looks at the two new girls. Lily, why isn't that girl moving? I look over and see a puddle of blood under the cage. Inside the cage, there's a shard of a plate. The girl was headstrong. She used the shard to slit her wrists. We all scream. Soon Mrs. Gray runs down to the basement to clean up the body. Hearing our screams, she comes over to the cage calmly. But when she sees the body, she screams in a high-pitched voice. Then she drags the body out, cleans it, and cries uncontrollably. The two big men come to help her carry the body away. Mrs. Gray collapses on the floor, weeping. Ava is shocked. I didn't think Mrs. Gray had a soft side, Ava whispers to me. Mrs. Gray doesn't answer. One of the men, seeing my competence as a nurse, tells Mrs. Gray about my offer, and she nods. The man then tells me to follow him. He leads me to the pumping room to help Julia. The room has air conditioning. It's a big prison-like room with steel-reinforced walls. Over 10 women are packed into the room, and this is just one of many. Next to each bed, there's a breast pump. The human body is not like a cow's. There's no storage organ for milk. To get a high yield, you have to pump constantly. Every few hours, they have to pump and bottle the milk themselves. In the corner of the room, a woman with her shirt off is struggling with her pump. When she sees me, her eyes widen, and she drops her pump. It's my sister, Jane Thompson. I am terrified she'll run to me and cry, but I underestimated her. She quickly regains her composure, picks up her pump, and goes back to work as if nothing happened. Another pretty girl has come, Julia, Jane says. Your status isn't secure anymore. Julia's face turns red with rage. My sister is smart. She's saying this to hide my identity. I keep a calm face, not daring to look at her again. I walk straight up to Julia. I know how to stimulate milk production. Do you want to try? I ask. Julia's eyes are red with fury, but when she sees the man who brought me, she holds back. You want to help me? Are you trying to trick me? You're not producing milk, and they're about to throw you away. Why would I need to trick you? Julia sits down, a defeated look on her face. I guess it's worth a shot. I put my hands on her breast. It's swollen and hard, like it's about to explode. The skin is red and hot. You have an infection. Your milk ducts are blocked, but you're not out of milk. I was pumping just yesterday, and then it suddenly stopped. What you said makes sense, Julia says, believing me immediately. A massage with some warm water and anti-inflammatory medicine should work, I say. While I massage her, my sister keeps looking at me, her eyes cold and distant. It hurts to be so close to my sister, yet not be able to recognize her. She was a single woman back then. She came here to make money for my college tuition, and now she's in this hell. I secretly watch her as she pumps, and my heart aches. What are you looking at? Do you know her? Julia asks, suspicion in her eyes. I get flustered and massage harder. Ouch, you're hurting me. Julia raises her hand to hit me, but I dodge it. Just then, 5 or 6 bodyguards walk in with a huge, muscular man. Everyone in the room shrinks back in fear. Even Julia looks terrified. Wolf, I'm not out of milk. I just have a minor infection. I can still take customers, Julia says, her voice trembling. So this is the wolf. He has a pockmarked face and cruel eyes. He doesn't listen to Julia. He just stares at me. Who are you? Why are you here? Before I can answer, Mrs. Gray walks in. Wolf, this is a new girl. She used to be a nurse. I brought her to help Julia with her milk. How long has she been here? Is she pregnant? The wolf asks. I told you, once they're artificially inseminated, they have to be locked in a cage. Are you deaf? Smack! The wolf slaps Mrs. Gray so hard she falls to the ground. One side of her face swells up instantly. I want to help her, but Julia's eyes stop me. It's probably better not to show any compassion right now. I say nothing. My sister's shirt is still unbuttoned. The wolf's eyes scan my body. Jane Thompson, seeing this, speaks up. Wolf, if you're worried about her, why not keep her with you? Do you really want to bring this ugly, old Julia to your customers? Jane purposely makes fun of Julia's bow legs. The wolf turns and looks at me, a hint of interest in his eyes. She is pretty. Wolf, your clients are rich and powerful. They won't want to drink milk from a woman with an infection. Let me handle the milk delivery from now on. I'll make sure the quality is high, Jane says, giving him a flirty look. The wolf nods and orders 2 bodyguards to escort Jane out. As she leaves, she gives Julia a look of triumph. Is this really my sister? I wonder. Her face is familiar, but she's a stranger. I am brought back to the basement. Mrs. Gray tells me, there's no humanity left in this place. Even Julia, after all these years with the wolf, is nothing but a milk cow. Ever since your sister came, Julia's status has plummeted. Julia used to handle all the milk deliveries to the wealthy clients, but now your sister has taken over most of them. That's why they hate each other so much. Mrs. Gray's eyes are filled with worry. I pat her on the shoulder. Thank you, Mrs. Gray. I can handle it. I believe my sister has a reason for doing what she did. She wouldn't hurt me. Mrs. Gray shakes her head at my naivety. Then I remember something. Did you ever find your niece? Mrs. Gray freezes. How did you know my niece was missing? I explain that I overheard the men talking. Gray's eyes fill with tears. We found her the next day. She found her? Then why is she still so sad? Mrs. Gray's walk isn't as steady as before, showing the immense trauma she's experienced. The next day, I'm brought out with the wolf. At the front gate, I see my sister being led away by 2 bodyguards. She's wearing a revealing tank top, her chest almost completely exposed. As she walks, she sticks her chest out, showing off her figure. She looks happy and smiling, but as she passes me, she whispers, "You helped Julia. I'm going to kill you for that." Did I hear her right? I turn and stare at her, confused. She's just trying to make sure no one suspects we're sisters, I tell myself. Yes, that must be it. I comfort myself and head to the other pumping room to find the wolf. Suddenly, a woman rushes out and kneels in front of me. I'll do anything you want. Just don't lock me in a cage again, please. Before I can react, 2 bodyguards drag her away. One of them mutters, "She's been locked in a cage for so long, she's gone insane. 10 months in a cage like a pig. Who wouldn't go crazy?" Pregnant women are already emotionally unstable, prone to depression and mood swings. These women, after 10 months of confinement, are mostly severely depressed or completely insane. This is the wolf's method of mental domination. It's terrifying. I thought that by becoming one of the wolf's women, my life would be a little easier. But I was wrong. Today, the wolf wants me to seduce a local police officer. The look in his eyes sends a shiver down my spine. "If you don't take care of this man, I'll chop you up and feed you to the tosin," he says. This time, I am truly scared. I came here to save my sister, but I might just lose my own life. Alex warned me that he couldn't protect me here, that the local police were crooked. The place the wolf wants me to go to is a famous nightclub, also a major hub for his illegal activities. He takes me to a small room. "Go," he says with a menacing glare. Even though I was prepared for the worst, I can't bring myself to walk in. My feet are heavy, like they're made of lead. "Stop dawdling!" The wolf opens the door and shoves me inside. In the dim light, a man in a suit is sitting there, looking lazy. A gun lies on the table in front of him. He looks at me and asks, his voice cold, "How long have you been with the wolf?" "A little over a week," I say, my voice trembling. He frowns, a hint of disappointment in his eyes. "A little over a week, so you don't know the inside?" I nod helplessly. Damn, my luck is terrible. He curses. I don't understand what he means. I just stand there, awkward. A moment later, he waves me over. "Come here. I have a job for you." Is he going to take advantage of me? My back is cold, but I have no choice. I timidly walk over. "What can I do for you, sir?" The man uses the butt of his gun to tap me on the head, his voice threatening. "I don't care how you do it, but in 3 days you have to bring a woman named Lily Grant to me." "What? Why do you want to see Lily Grant?" I ask. "Why are you asking so many questions? Just remember, if you breathe a word of this, I'll shoot you." So he doesn't know my identity. But why is a police officer from Cambodia looking for me by name? Then I remember Alex told me he had a friend here who would help me. Is this him? I take a risk. "Sir, I am Lily Grant." The officer freezes, his eyes full of suspicion. "Do you know Alex Johnson?" I asked. The officer laughs. "It's you, good job, kid. You got the wolf to trust you and bring you out so fast." I wasn't brought out because he trusted me. He wanted me to sleep with you. It seems he really is Alex's friend. I relax and feel more comfortable talking. The officer gives me a small device the size of a coin. "This is a tracker. We'll use it to pinpoint the location of the underground milk factory and come rescue you." "Thank you, sir. But can you be a little faster? I heard they search everyone who comes and goes. I don't know how long I can keep it." He reassures me and tells me to leave. I walk out and he praises me to the wolf, saying I'm a beautiful girl with a great body, a top-tier product. I am disgusted by his words, but they satisfy the wolf. On the way back, he's less cold to me. We return to the remote milk factory. Since I'm with the wolf, no one searches me. He even tells Mrs. Gray to prepare a separate room for me. "No need to go to the basement until she's pregnant," he says. As the wolf is about to leave, my sister runs out and grabs him, her face full of disbelief. "She was just with you for a little while, and you're already giving her special treatment." The wolf squeezes her butt. "She made the officer happy. That's her skill." "What if she's plotting something?" "Wolf, I don't trust this woman. You just came back from outside. Are you sure you shouldn't have her searched?" My sister is really overthinking this. "Jane Thompson, how could you?" I had to ask, staring at her. "Do you know how hard the wolf worked to build this milk factory?" Jane says, her voice full of self-righteousness. "I'm doing this for the wolf. Being a slave for too long can really make a person lose their humanity." The wolf tells Mrs. Gray to search me. I hid the tracker in my bra. Mrs. Gray pats me down but doesn't find it. My heart, which was in my throat, finally falls. "How could you be so careless?" my sister asks, still not satisfied. She demands Mrs. Gray strip me naked in front of them. My sister's eyes are filled with pure evil, so different from the kind girl I remember. I'm angry, but I can't bring myself to hate her. At least I'll die here with a clean conscience, I think to myself. I did everything I could to save her. I open my arms, ready for Mrs. Gray to strip me and reveal the tracker. But what I didn't expect was that even after she stripped me completely, the tracker was nowhere to be found. Mrs. Gray even shakes my clothes. "See, Wolf? There's nothing." The wolf's eyes rake over my body. He smiles lecherously. "Jane, why do you have to be so difficult?" My sister grinds her teeth in frustration. "You sly fox, don't you fall into my hands." After the wolf leaves, I grab my sister's wrist. "Jane, why are you doing this to me?" I ask, my voice trembling. Tears stream down my face. My sister's eyes are cold. "You helped an outsider. You're against me." 2 bodyguards come, and I have to let go of her. "Listen, Lily, as long as you help that bitch, Julia, you're my enemy." Jane's voice is full of anger. Mrs. Gray sighs. "This place turns people into monsters. The old Jane used to be so kind. I can't believe she's become like this after years of fighting with Julia." I go back with Mrs. Gray, and she pulls the tracker out of her pocket. "Mrs. Gray, why would you risk your life for me?" I ask. She gives me a bitter smile. "The girl who slit her wrist with the plate a few days ago, she was my granddaughter." "What? I can't believe it. She tells me she's been working here for years. Her son and daughter-in-law were killed over drug debts. She was raising her granddaughter, but a few days ago her husband lost all their money gambling, and her granddaughter was kidnapped. She thought the girl was sold to another country and took some time off to look for her. She never expected to find her dead right in front of her. We hide the tracker and act like nothing happened. 2 days later, my sister reports to the wolf that she spotted a drone flying over the factory. The wolf immediately gets tense and orders her to find out who leaked their location. My sister takes this chance to have me and Mrs. Gray tied up and locked in a cave behind the factory. She tells the 2 guards not to say a word to anyone. The guards promise and leave. The cave is dark, damp, and freezing. This is how my sister treats me. "Jane, do you know how hard I worked to find you? For a moment, I regret everything. I risked my life to save our care, and it was all for nothing." She doesn't explain. She just keeps looking at her watch and peering outside the cave, as if she's waiting for someone. She must be plotting something evil. She's a cold-blooded bitch. The wolf throws her a bone, and she's ready to sell out her own sister. My heart turns to ice. A moment later, the factory is in chaos. The wolf, afraid his location has been compromised, decides to move everything. But he miscalculated. Just as everyone is gathered, police cars surround the factory. Cornered, the wolf pulls out a gun and shoots several people. Screams and cries fill the air. It's only then that I understand. Everything my sister did was to gain the wolf's trust. If she hadn't put on such a performance, she would never have been able to get me and Mrs. Gray out. The wolf is arrested and the human milk factory is shut down. My sister and I are finally free. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more. Thank you.